Kart races used to be big business back in the day, with every company worth their salt having a go. Each game trying and ultimately failing to capture the success and the fun of Nintendo's beloved Mario Kart series. There has been some kart races that have been brilliant and not made by Nintendo, and one of these titles is Crash Team Racing. Originally released on the PS1 all the way back in 1999, this was Naughty Dog's last ever game in the Crash franchise. So now, with Crash back and as popular as he was in the 90s, mainly thanks to the continuing efforts of Activision's rather impressive reboot and revitalization of the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro series, let's start with a very fun recreation of the first three games in each series. We're now seeing Activision bringing back the fan favourite and hugely requested Crash Team Racing, but this time with quite a few extras to make for a rather meaty game. Let's see how they did, shall we? Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is a lot more than a remake of the beloved game. Yes, it does take the original PS1 game and update the graphics, but it does much more than that. We have the whole CTR game all brought up to 2019 standards in both graphically as well as technically, iron out all the glitches in the original. But Nitro-Fueled includes all the tracks from its sequel, Nitro Kart, as well as its characters, karts, and even a few karts from 2005's Tag Team Racing to make a sort of best of entry, which is a really cool idea. What sets Crash Team Racing apart from other karting games is its unique handling and drifting mechanics. Instead of your typical power slide you find in other kart games, CTR has a cool drift boost mechanic. When you drift, a bar fills up a boost meter, and once the meter gets in the green, you can do a little boost. The longer you wait, the bigger the boost, and you can do up to 3 boosts at a time. Coming from other kart races, it can be really jarring at first, and many folks will be a bit rubbish at first if you've never played any of the Crash racing games before. But give it a few hours, and you'll get used to the game's many tracks, and you'll be drift boosting with no problem at all. Unlike Mario Kart, CTR has a fun story mode to go with its fun racing. The story is exactly the same as the original. An alien called nitrous oxide has invaded Earth and challenges the planet's best racer for a race for the world. It's a pretty daft story, but the charm of the characters really does add legs to it. There's a great amount of customization to the game. You can choose from a selection of wheels, cards, colours, stickers and obviously characters. The game offers a great more amount of customization compared to Mario Kart and Team Sonic Racing, which is very impressive indeed. And that's not all for the content. Single players have loads of stuff to keep themselves coming back for more. We have a collection of different modes from a selection of Grand Prix consisting of 4 races, time trials which house some absolutely hardcore coast races to beat, CTR coins, relic races, standard races, as well as mirror mode. There's a lot to do. As for the tracks, we have a great selection of tracks to choose from. We have all the Crash Team Racing tracks and Crash Nitro Kart tracks altogether for the impressive 31 tracks. There's no Tag Team Racing tracks included, but I guess we may see a few in a future update. For the character roster, the game sees a 26-strong character list full of famous Crash Bandicoot faces such as Crash, Coco, Cortex, Polar, Entrance, and Crunch. It's a pretty impressive list. Each character has a collection of different costumes they can wear. Some are just colour palette changes, but some are full costume changes and look great. There's a few noticeable omissions that aren't included in the roster, like Nina Cortex and Embryo, but I guess they'll appear later in future updates. During your time with the game, you'll earn Wumpa coins, and you can use these in the game's pit stop mode, which is essentially a shop where you can spend your hard-earned coins. You can buy characters, cosmetics, cards, stickers and the like, and thankfully there's not a single microtransaction in sight. Though you do earn far more coins playing online than you do in single player, which is a shame. And you also need a constant connection to the internet to get coins. While it's not a problem for the PS4 and Xbox One, but due to the portability of the Switch, this may be a problem for some. Those who are worried about if the game contains microtransactions, I'm pleased to say there's 0 microtransactions or paid DLC whatsoever, which is brilliant. You earn everything in-game through regular play. Though it's still up in the air whether they'll add microtransactions in the future. I hope they don't, but you never know these days. Progress through the game's 5 hub areas which you're free to drive around and pick which races you want to do. Each area consists of 4 races, which once you've completed you then go up against a boss. There's also crystal collectathon levels as well. Once you've completed all the bosses you then go up against Nitro-Fueled. To finish the story mode it'll take you around 4 to 5 hours just to complete it if you're just going for the racing. But there's plenty more to the story if you want to 100% it, as there's CTR coins, which are like normal races, but you have to find the letters C, T and R, whilst also coming first. Then there's also relic races, which are a bit like time trials, but you also have to smash time boxes to pause the time. The shortest possible time, the better. Each of all the game's races have these, and to 100% it and fully defeat nitrous oxide for the final time, you're talking around an impressive 10 plus hours. I may be a bit greedy saying this, but it would have been nice if Benos remade the Nitro Kart story as well, but hey, maybe in a future update we may even see that. Nitro-Fueled will keep you coming back for months on end, as the game will be receiving loads of free post-game content support in the Grand Prix mode. Starting in July, the Grand Prix will be seasonal-like events similar to what is found in Fortnite that will add new tracks and see players gaining XP throughout this event to unlock loads of new stickers, cards and characters. Upcoming characters include Tawna, the Grid Girls from the original CTR, and Spiral the Dragon. And the best thing is, all this stuff will be free for all players. As long as Beanox doesn't add any microtransactions, this will easily be one of the most generous games this generation. Local multiplayer is here and it's incredibly fun, allowing upwards of 4-player split-screen multiplayer that takes you back to the split-screen multiplayer heyday of the 90s. The game also includes a rather extensive battle mode full of different options to choose from that can be played on your own against a computer, local with friends, or online against strangers. Online multiplayer is here and thankfully the lobbies are full with folks ready to race with. Getting into a game doesn't take too long, and once you get into a match, the netcode runs relatively smoothly. Though at launch there was some troubles with other players not registering on the screen properly, but thankfully that's been fixed. But there's still issues where looking for a game you end up with a crash, and the way the game deals out Wumpa coins is all over the place, as if you win a race you probably only get a couple of hundred coins, whilst coming in last place you get 800. It's bizarre and I hope they fix it and tally Wumpa coins more evenly and fairly in the future. As for the game's presentation, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled looks wonderful on whatever console you play it on. I played it on the Switch and the game looks fantastic on the hybrid console, running at 720p docked and a lesser 480p in handheld mode. Though the game may not look as nice as the other versions, mainly due to the lower resolution, but it is easily one of the most impressive looking Switch titles today and it looks remarkably close to the other consoles. As for the frame rate, the game is a rock solid 30 FPS on all consoles. No 60 FPS here, and I know some folks certainly prefer 60 FPS in their racing, but it works fine here, and the lower frame rate really didn't bother me at all. But what did bother me was the bevy of technical issues I experienced from my playthrough, from crashes to iffy online gameplay and incredibly long loading times. It's a shame the game isn't technically perfect, but thankfully Beanox are constantly working on patches to fix things. Conclusion time now, and Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is like the Insane Trilogy, a fantastic blast from the past. Beanox has taken the beloved races, spruced up the graphics, but most importantly, it still plays the same. It's not just a simple remake, however, it's much more than that, with all the characters and tracks from its sequel, Nitro Kart. With so much single-player content, it puts Mario Kart to shame, as there's so much to do. But be warned, the game can be quite challenging. It's not all positives, alas, as the online still has a few problems, as I have experienced some crashes, but with a few patches and all these problems should be null and void. So with that, I'm giving Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled a 9 out of 10 with the title of brilliant. Thank you for watching my review, like, rate and subscribe, and until next time, happy gaming. Bye.